So second live video that I've tried doing. And I'm to the number of people that I need for subscribing, but it didn't, like, YouTube didn't get the memo. And so anyway, and then I did something techie that I couldn't do. So I had to create a new live stream. And so I hope you all find me. Anyway, tech things, right? I'm figuring it out. And hopefully next week I will not only have my cool handy dandy thing and I can use my phone and it will be better quality and whatever, but you are not here to hear me whine about all the things that are going on with tech. You are here to learn about California rolls. And I'm excited because I actually should have my oldest daughter here because she's now our sushi master in our house, because here she is rolling all the things. And I was running other kids to other places. And I said, hey, will you please go and make some of that sushi rice so that I'm ready to go? And she said, sure. She's got it down. But I'm going to teach you how, because even though she has it down, you know what? I can figure it out too. Before we get going, I do want to take this link maybe and copy it and put it somewhere, but maybe you guys will figure it out. You'll find me because you'll know my channel and you can find me. So I'm not going to worry about it. There's always a replay. Okay. This tech thing, I really tried to figure it out and I couldn't do it. I couldn't undo what I did. This is like the one thing I can't change. Okay. What do we need? We need sushi rice. So this is already made. I actually did buy sushi rice. And I did order on an Amazon because we live in a small town. So Amazon is helpful for that kind of stuff. But what I did, if you don't have this, like if you can't find sushi rice, it's okay to get short grain white rice. That will work too. So don't sweat it if you don't want it, or if you just want to test it and see what you think before you go all in. Sushi rice is very reasonable online, but maybe you just want to test it out. So just get what you can get at your store. And I can give you the recipe for the sushi rice if you don't have that. So be sure to comment below and let me know. Just so you know, my job is to make sure that you have all kinds of great tools and recipes that make cooking easier so that we can get in and out of the kitchen and enjoy that time and spend time with people that you love. I totally forgot my whole intro. So there you go. Like I said, I'm getting this down. This is real life. So this has, let's see. It has a thing that I blanked out on. It has a little bit of sugar in it. It has salt in it, and it has rice wine vinegar. So it has a little tang. It gives you that umami flavor. If you've heard, like you have sweet, you have savory, you have, whatever. So that gives you a little bit of the tang. Now, I did get a panicked snap from my daughter saying, we are out of all of our rice wine vinegar. What do I do? She had about half of what we needed. And I said, you know what? We have white wine vinegar. Just fine. So know that you can do that, and that's okay. All right. Like I said, comment if you want sushi rice recipe, post it below. Okay. What I want to do now is get you rolling on this. So I'm going to have to move my camera. And like I said, hopefully next time I'll be able to do my fancy thing. Maybe not. Oh, by the way, I should talk about this. This is the rice cooker. Do you know about this? So the multi-cooker plus, I think, is the actual title of it. But you can do rice in here and you can do pasta and it won't boil over in your microwave. So this is the perfect thing for it because you can start it. You can mix in your stuff at the end. You can let it cool and you don't have to deal with a rice cooker, or you're not making a ton of it usually. So you don't need to necessarily crack out your pressure cooker. And so anyway, when I do a lot of rice, I do the pressure cooker. When I'm doing this is just perfect for that. Okay, here we go. We have things that we want to prep. And the things that we want to prep are everything that we're using. It's kind of like if you're watching chefs and they have like the people who are prepping all the stuff, and then they have like the actual person who's cooking. It'd be really nice to have a little sous chef, but I do not have a sous chef right now. I am the sous chef. And so I want to make sure that everything is prepped and cut in the right way so that it fits into the roll and you'll be happy for it. So you can buy these crab things. I can even get them in my little grocery store. They're in the freezer section, and they have sticks. So this is the stick version. They do have like flake kinds too. The sticks are a lot easier because you just throw your stick in and you don't have to cut stuff and line up your flakes and it doesn't fall apart when you cut it. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. So I recommend getting the sticks if you can find them. So that's thawed, ready to go. Next, I'm going to prep our cucumber. I already washed it, and you can see I already used part of it. This is an English style cucumber. You can use a regular cucumber if you can't find an English style. I find the English ones actually make me a little less burpy. I don't know if you burp at cucumbers, but I do. And so I don't like to burp while I'm eating cucumber all the time. Angle this down so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to cut, it's probably about 1/4 of my cucumber is what I need. Okay, let's set the rest of this aside. We want to cut this into matchstick kinds. They don't need to be tiny matchsticks. I'm sure there's a fancy name for that. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and just cut it into 4 pieces for now. And if you had a bigger cucumber, this would be a little more important because you'd have to be cutting like this. Or you could scoop out with a scoop or something. This is so tiny, though, the little bit of seed that you have, that I just cut it with my knife and get it out of there. And my chickens like to eat this. So I'm going to save this for my chickens. Cut it up for them. But the seeds have a lot of liquid, and it's not as nice of a mouthfeel. So that's why you cut that out. And then once I have that, I'm going to cut this into a few slices. If it was really tall the other way, you might want to cut the other way, but you can see this is okay. It doesn't have to be perfectly square, just a piece. So I'm going to do that for all 4 of these pieces and get them ready. The next thing I'm going to do is avocado. And luckily there was an avocado sale at my local store. So I stocked up because I have now created monsters, little kids that like to eat avocado toast with me. And that was a nice treat. I made sure to hide one of my avocados so that I had this for sushi. So some of these are 4 slices. Some of them are going to be 5 slices. Some, it just depends on the size of your cucumber and what you got going on. But these aren't perfect matchsticks, but they will do. All right. So now we have these nice long pieces that will fit into our sushi. And our scraps that I'll throw over there. Okay. Next, avocado. I'm grabbing my avocado tool. I actually like to use the flat side instead of the serrated side. You do you. Maybe I could do the serrated and show you. Oh, yeah. We'll just do that way. It doesn't matter, really. You can cut through either way. Cut all the way around so you're hitting the pit. Twist. And then you're going to use this end. Stab it. Stab it again. Got stuck. There you go. And it didn't roll on the floor, so I call that a win. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to cut this into slices in here. And this is when I flip it and do the flat side too, so I don't cut my hand. And then use it to scoop it out too. You could use a spoon here if you prefer. But I just did it like this. And I'll do the other one. Well, actually, I'll wait with the other one because I want to keep my avocado fresh. And the longer you keep it all together, the less brown it gets. So here we go. I'm going to slice this. If you have a piece that's a little wider, you might want to slice it the other way so it doesn't get too fat. You can do what you want to do. Avocado is really mushy, so, it doesn't matter so much. All right. I'm going to wipe my hand again. And we are going to get to the assembly part of this. By the way, my head is still here. I will have this figured out at some point. Maybe I'll have to get 2 cameras. I can figure out how to do cool streaming, which is what I accidentally set up and I didn't realize it. And then have 2 separate streams connecting together. So I can show you my face and flip back and forth. That would be crazy. That's crazy talk. I'm going to ask you way more techie, aren't I? This is what I need to show you. This is the piece de resistance. This is the thing that you need to have to make sushi rolling. Super easy. If you've ever been intimidated or thought about doing sushi and you go, okay, but how do I actually roll it with the mat? And how do I get it to be nice and tight? Because if you don't roll it properly, it falls apart. This takes all that question out, okay? You're going to be able to do it. This is called the Easy Roll Maker, and it comes out March 1st. If you are wanting to know about this and get it right away, be sure to holler and I can get you a link so you can be in on my last chance first glance party, or I can get you just a shopping link too. But I think it's fun because then you'll be able to get the things that are retiring, like this I mentioned if you watched last week. Got that? Pump it up. This is the oil spritzer. It is one of the things that was going away, and I think it's already sold out, but you'll want to catch the other things that are retiring because they will be gone if they haven't already sold out by this Saturday, February 28th. I believe that is Saturday, and go from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grease this. Just a slight spray. I would not use like the kind that you get in a can that you buy, just because the propellant could get kind of sticky in there, and then you're going to get mad at it. So if you don't have one of these, I would just say use a little oil, brush it in there, and go from there. Okay. I'm going to grab my rice, get this lid out of here. Now you can use a spoon. You can use whatever you feel like. I'm going to use the medium scoop. And I'm going to do 4 scoops on both sides. So what you're thinking of is you're picking your 2 halves of your sushi that you're going to put together. Okay. So first step first is your rice. And then we are going to get it so that it fits in here and can have room for our ingredients to go in the middle. Because if you think about sushi, right, it has rice around it. And then it has the fillings, the other pieces on the inside. Can you make sushi out of things other than seafood? Absolutely. You can put whatever you want in here. I have a kid that will only, and my husband, who they like vegetarian sushi and they just have vegetables in here. You have, you can do whatever you feel like. I actually have a whole recipe collection and I can send it your way if you want that. So if you want the recipes, just holler like collection or something like that. Sushi recipes, whatever, comment below. I can send it your way. Now this is sticky rice. If you've not ever heard it called sticky rice, there's a reason. It is a little sticky. That's okay. All right. I may do just a tiny bit of spray on the stick because the stick is going to help us too. So this is a dual purpose stick. One is to get the shape of our sushi so that we have an indent for our food to go in there. You can kind of see there it went down. We have a little well. If you want to be really particular, you can smash your rice out and get it all filled in there. This is about the perfect capacity. You do want to leave a little room on the end, just because it makes for a tighter roll that way. And I find it works better when you are going to get it out and you're going to wrap it in the seaweed wrap. That is another thing that if you don't know about seaweed wraps, that's something that I got online. If you don't like the seaweed flavor, you could do rice paper. That's something you can buy with rice paper. You just dip it in a little water and go from there. All right, so you can see we have some wells in here. We're going to fill it up with stuff. Okay, first step, you got to fit this in. This is part of your California roll, is your piece of crab. What I find with this particular stick that I have, the shape of the stick is, oh, I forgot. These are like individually wrapped. Is that 1.5 is about the perfect size for each one of these. So it's not too long that you can't properly compress stuff, but it's not so short. Like just one, you're going to have pieces that don't have crab. And if that is something that makes you sad, I don't want you to be sad, okay? All right, so here we go. Got that. There we go. Got that squished in. This is one side, okay? On the other side is where I'm going to put my vegetables. And you want to have enough vegetable to pretty much fill up the thing. You can overlap a little bit, but you don't want to be too stingy because then you won't get a bite of everything. in roll. And then, like I said, avocados are more forgiving, so we'll lay that on there. That can get all mashed in. I personally love avocado, so I always feel like I want to load it up a lot, but keep in mind we do have to squish it shut. Okay. Got a little gooey again, but that's okay. Here we go. This is the part where there's things you need to remember. You need to remember that this guy needs to be stuck in here, or you can be really sad after you get it closed and you forgot it. We have taken it apart before, semi-successfully, made it work. It's fine because you're just making sushi at home. But if you want to do this for like a party, make sure you don't forget this part or you're going to be sad. And it just sits right, there's a ridge right here. You set it right in the ridge. Go from there. The other thing you need to know is you don't do this timidly. This is not a place where you go, oh, I don't know if I have it lined up right. You are going to close it and go as fast as you can so that your guts don't fly everywhere, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to snap it shut. All right, it is snapped shut. You can see I do have a little bit of gut sticking out. I got a green popping out. It's okay. Like I said, it's fairly forgiving, and my daughter does it. She's 13, so we'll be okay. All right, why can I not get this lid on? There we go. Get it lined up. We're going to put the end on it. This is the part where we're going to make it a little tighter. There were threads on the end of this, and so I'm just going to twist this until my threads are out. There we go. That's about right. I'm feeling like there's rice coming out. Oh, it looks like when they put this together at the end, they didn't stick it back. It's fine. I got some rice poking out, but that doesn't normally happen. That was user error. Okay. And you can see when you wash it, you can take it all apart, and there's these hooks that latch it together. And like I said, you have to close it real fast. Well, apparently when they put it, my kids put it away after they got out of the dishwasher, they didn't latch it properly. So I got rice coming out here. This side is nice and latched, so it'll be fine. This is the kind of stuff I like to show live because then you can see, oh, happy accidents, guys. We're going to pretend like we're Bob Ross today. All right, next thing. Sushi rice. Sushi. What am I trying to say? Seaweed sheets for sushi. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, here we go. With the sheet, you will see, if you've never used them before, there's a shiny side that's smoother, and there's a rougher side. Let's see if I can tell. That's shiny, and it's pretty smooth. This side looks a little rougher, maybe. You can see the lines in it better. The rough side is the side that you want to be touching your sushi rice because that's what's going to like cling to it and go from there. Now, think about how you're going to wrap. I actually want to turn it this way because the length of my sushi is about this way. So there's one side that's a little longer, one side that's a little shorter. All right, while I'm shooting this out, I got to hold that gimpy end here. Usually this slides out really well, but if I messed it up, that's my fault, not yours. And I'm going to go ahead and you can pick either end, and we are going to squish it out right onto here. Okay. And you can see this is about the perfect length for it to fit right into our roll of seaweed. Now, did I get it perfectly in the right spot? No, I did not. Too busy trying to watch the camera and make sure the rice stays in the right hole. But if you move it real quick, it's okay. It didn't fall apart when I moved in. That means we did a good job of squishing it all together. Yay, good for us. Okay. Now, this is here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of seal it, wrap it tight as I go. You don't want to have little air pockets in it. If you get one, that's okay. And then you're going to get to this point. And you're going to go, oh, how do I seal it? You need some water, and I forgot my water, so let me grab some. Right over my sink. I got wet fingers. Hopefully that's enough. I'm going to wet this part of it. roll it and stick it. Now, this cuts a little better when you let it sit, maybe like 5 minutes. You could even put it in your fridge for a bit, and that will help a lot. But in our case, we want to eat right away, and I want you to show it to you. So I'm going to cut right away. Just make sure you have a sharp knife. The debate is out as far as which Pampered Chef knife or other knife is the best for cutting sushi. And of course, if you're legit, you're going to have a sushi knife. I don't have a sushi knife, but I have this knife, and this is the one that was dirty already. So I'm going to just test it with this. I do about 8 pieces with this. So I'm going to cut it in half. And just kind of go like that. There you go. You want it to be nice and sharp. Again. Try not to just smush it. Like you don't want to saw like a crazy saw. But you also don't want to just rough right through it. You could try a serrated knife, but that kind of rips up the edge of the paper, the nori, your seaweed wrap. Yes, I do actually know the terms, at least, but I can't always remember them. So there you go. Do that. This. One more cut. And it didn't fall all the way apart. So I say this is a success. All right, here we go. We are going to make it look pretty because part of eating Japanese style food is not only is it the flavors melding, but you also want it to be visually appealing. And this is the coolest thing ever. This is a cold tray. It has a proper name. It's from Pampered Chef. Do I remember the name? No, but here's what you can do is you can put ice in here. And I did this for my open house. I did a sushi bash for my open house that I did a couple weeks ago. And this stayed cold all night long. It wasn't even all the way full with ice. It was only maybe like halfway, just with like a tray of ice that I had made at home and popped it in there. And that kept it plenty cold. This is pretty amazing. You can use it for things like maybe you're going to have brunch, right? And you want to have some bagels and you want to have like fancy cream cheeses and like pieces of salmon, whatever it is, you could lay that out on here. You could do different fruits. You could do all kinds of good stuff. So you could lay these, if you had a whole bunch of them, you could lay them all pretty. In our case, I'm just going to line up some, and I'm looking on both sides to see which side is prettier. So the ones that were on the end, this was an end one. You can see it doesn't quite look as pretty. We're going to put the pretty side up. And everybody can see what's in there then. And you can see this is where I had my mishap with my rice. So the fillings got shoved a little differently. Usually they're nice and right in the middle. There we go. Line them up. I'll just do maybe one there and one there. This is a sauce that I made. It is soy sauce, sesame oil, and rice wine vinegar. I can get you that recipe too. So if you want the sauce recipe, be sure to holler. And it's just all whisked together and it kind of, melds. I think it might have just a tiny bit of sugar. One last finishing piece that I want to get. I forgot about it. So I highly recommend popping everything bagel seasoning on here. I'm going to adjust this again so you can see my head. Sorry for the ride. So I'll do a little sprinkling on each one. And if you wanted to, you could sprinkle this beforehand before you put it on the tray so you don't have little seeds left over. This adds a little bit of flavor, a little bit in interest. And if you're cool, you're going to eat it with chopsticks. My kids can do chopsticks really well. I have to think really hard, and it takes a long time for me to think about it. And so since I'm on camera, I don't think now is the time for me to be doing okay, how do I squeeze it again? So I will spare you that. But I will do the official chomp on camera because that's what you have to do, right? You see this on Food Network and then whatever cooking channel you're watching. You're going to go bite it and go, it's really good, right? Well, it is really good. So you get to watch me now. Sushi, not the best thing to shove in my face on camera because you have to wait for me to chew though, but what it is, you have the crunchiness of that cucumber, you have the creaminess of the avocado, you have a little bit of the crab taste. Those seasonings just bring out all that natural flavor. And with that little tang of the rice wine vinegar, it's just super good. So this is the California roll. I'm going to call up my kids from the basement. They are hanging out watching TV or doing something. And the second I say the word sushi, this will be gone. So I'm going to get ready to roll some more. If you would like to know more about sushi and other kinds you can make, like I said, I have that recipe collection. But I also am doing sushi workshops this spring. So if you live kind of local to me, I'm in South Dakota. I do Iowa, Minnesota, any of South Dakota, Nebraska, I can get to you. You're like, what? No, I like to travel, but I am in Southeast South Dakota. Anyway, so if you want to do a workshop, be sure to holler and get your friends together and we can ask them that too. So that's what I got for you. This is how to do a California roll. And it really isn't that hard when you have the right tools for the right job. So we'll catch you later. Happy cooking. And don't let dinner be stressful.